work today, I cried because of a comment a few of my coworkers made, which it wasn't their intention to make my feelings hurt, but boy did it hurty. I hope they don't see this, but I'm making a video because I really don't know how to cope. But for people who are new here, I'm on the spectrum, and a lot of people don't believe me until they see it come out, and then they're like, oh, I see now. The things I had to learn growing up is picking up social cues, and TBH, I still struggle with it a lot. So the biggest one I struggle with is knowing when someone doesn't want to talk to me. I have struggled with this my entire life, and it's a really big insecurity of mine. Unless I'm forcing myself, when I first meet people, I'm actually more on the shy side, but then the more I get to know you, the more I open up and I get like my normal bubbly self. So I was sitting with my coworkers and I was talking about how I want to move from being a host to a server, but like I have to wait my turn, stuff like that. And we were talking about things that other people struggle with. And I was like, oh, can you guys tell me so I know to learn from their mistakes? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then one of them was just like, oh, Selena, I think honestly, the only thing you're really going to struggle with is you're going to see your customers and you're going to like talk too much with them. And it's going to like back up orders and stuff. See, if one person said it, fine. It's okay. Just one person tells me, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. I'll keep that in mind. But I was just like, oh no, I don't think so, because I'm really only this chatty with people I know. And then so there's 4 of us in this conversation. Another one of my coworkers chimed in and was just like, not gonna lie, Selena, when I first met you, the first thought I had was, damn, this girl is chatty, but it's okay, I got used to you now. And I was just like, oh, why didn't you ever say anything? And he was like, it's okay, I just kind of learned to tune you out, or like just like let you do your own thing, because I've noticed if I don't even respond to you, you'll just keep talking to yourself. Frick, the damn tears. And that kind of hurt, because I don't realize I do that. So I was really embarrassed, especially in front of a group of people. And then another one of my friends that I always hang out with, he kind of agreed too. He's like, yeah, you are really chatty, like you do talk a lot. And I don't know, I think because 2 out of the 3 I consider actual friends, when they all said that about me, I was like, damn, so that's what you guys think about me? I guess some people might not think that's an insult. I don't know. I grew up in an Asian household, so TBH, me crying right now, I would be gaslit to oblivion being told that I'm being sensitive. And then I was just kind of like quiet then, because I was like, okay, well, if you guys think I talk too much, I'm just not gonna talk. But then they're all like, no, like we got used to you, it's fine. And I'm like, this is not making me feel any better. Like, it's just like, oh, I was annoying, but you got used to me being annoying. I don't know, am I just overreacting or something? It's just being told that you talk too much is kind of like being told that you're just like blabbing and no one wants to hear you speak. And I'm being told that most of your life and trying really hard to fix it, but you just can't pick it up. And then feeling like you just annoy everyone around you. I was like, damn, owie. I always thought that being chatty with someone is like kind of like being friendly. Like that was my way of thinking, that like, oh, the more you chat with someone, the more you include them in conversations and stuff, is like the more welcome they would feel. But I didn't realize it was making people feel the reverse of like, you know, she talks too much. So now the only way I know how to fix it is just by shutting up. But I feel like when I get quiet, people are gonna be like, oh, why are you so quiet? Like, I don't know, does anyone else have this problem? It would make me feel a lot better if like other people talk about it, or I don't know. I just like, I don't know how to pick up the cues. I'm so glad a lot of people also agree that they would have cried, because first I was like, oh my gosh, am I being sensitive? Because again, I grew up in an Asian household. Whenever my feelings were hurt, my family would kind of tell me like, oh, just suck it up. Don't take it personal. Don't let it bother you. Like, I feel like Asian families tend to do that. Like, words do not matter for some reason. Like, they really said, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. To like the grave, bro. But yeah, I was talking to one of my other good friends about it, and I was just like, yo, this is what happened today. I got very sad. And he was like, oh my gosh, bro, I'm so sorry to hear that. Which, can we just also make a side comment? Guys who have emotionally mature girlfriends, like, you could tell. Like, when they talk to you, you're like, someone cooked here. So I was talking to him, and I was just like, am I being sensitive because it's an insecurity of mine? Or like, was that kind of foul? And he was just like, well, you don't need justification on your feelings. If it hurt your feelings, bro, it hurts your feelings. And I was like, thanks, king. But he was like, I'll be for real with you. Like, I'm not trying to defend them. This is just how they are. Like, I don't think they were trying to say that maliciously. Like, they're not the type of people to purposely be mean to you. They're more like, they'll just say something and not think you'll hurt someone's feelings. Which, like, I honestly believe, because I don't think they would have said this to me unless we were as chill as we are with each other, which probably wouldn't have happened if I wasn't as chatty as I am. So they're just really chill with me and comfortable around me, which is why they were okay with saying it, because they see me as a friend now, so they're like, oh, it's chill. But that was just my insecurity, so boy, oh, that hurt like a butt cheek on a stick. So I was like, yeah, I know, I'm taking it with a grain of salt, but TBH, I feel like this hurts more, because if they were purposely trying to be mean to me, I could just chalk it up and say, oh, they're just being spiteful, they're just being mean. But when you're just saying what's on your mind, I'm like, damn. You're just being honest. It's like when a little kid calls you ugly. You're like, that, they're not even lying. Little kids are just blunt like that. I pray they don't see this video, but I also was like really sad about it. So I always talk to you guys when I'm really sad. So I'm glad I'm reading all the comments. Like, you guys actually make me feel so much better. Thank you. I don't know if you guys could tell I feel better, but I feel better. You guys. Oh yeah, so I know this is one video on YouTube and you guys are the only ones who are gonna get an update, but pretty much, I haven't seen my coworkers since I made that video yet because I usually work during weekdays, it's not the weekend. But one of them did see my video and did reach out to me, and it was really awkward. But this is the only coworker that was in the conversation, but like didn't really say like, oh yeah, you do talk a lot. He was just kind of there, and when he was listening to the conversation, he just like, when they said it, he just went like he didn't say yes, he just like shook his head yes. And I mean, as any other person would, I took that as like, oh, he's agreeing with them. But we were talking because we play video games together, and he was just like, yo, like, I just want to put this out there, I saw your video. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, I'm not mad, I just really hurt that day. And he was just like, oh, okay, well, I can't speak about the others, but I wasn't really agreeing with them like that. Like, you are chatty, but in a good way. I didn't mean it in a bad way. And I was like, oh, thanks. But I got hella emotional talking about this because it's like one of my biggest insecurities. So I was just like, oh, thanks. And he was like, yeah, I just think you and I would never have been friends if you never talked to me. And I was just like, oh, yeah, when did we become friends? He was like, I don't know, you talked to me. And I was like, okay. Interesting way to make me feel better. And he was like, yeah. But then I also noticed, like, the more I talked to this coworker, the more he started to open up. So I kind of made it my mission. Like, he was one of those introverts that an extrovert decided to adopt. I'm the extrovert, he's the introvert. And I noticed, like, over time, he started becoming a little louder around me. And I was like, W. But yeah, so this coworker did talk to me about it and was just like, yo, I think it's cool. And I was like, thanks, man. But I haven't really talked to the other two coworkers. My other coworker doesn't know any of my social medias. So he almost found me on social media, and I wasn't joking, sent him a picture of me blocking him, and he was just like, damn, why are you blocking me? And I was just like, oh, I don't want you to know my social media, like, I like my privacy. And then he was just like, oh, okay, well, I wasn't trying to find you like that, I was gonna let it happen naturally. And I was like, nope, that was not happen naturally. The one who made the tuning out comment, like, I'm not really mad at him. He's just one of those people who says things without really knowing that it's gonna hurt someone's feelings. Like, I've noticed that I'm not the only one he said something and low-key hurt their feelings, but no one's really maybe brought it up to him. And I'm not confrontational, believe it or not. I'm confrontational for other people, but for myself, suddenly I become a mouse, which is like not the best feeling. But for some reason, when it's anyone else, when it's my friends, when it's someone, like, when my savior complex kicks in, like, I'm loud as hell. Or if it's with strangers, I'm loud. But it's when people I know and I work with and stuff, I don't want to make the environment awkward, even though I know it's not my fault. But regardless, I don't want to make the environment awkward, so I'll just not say anything. But in turn, I'm just not really going to talk to him. Like, I'm just going to speak a spoken to moment. So, yeah. That's how I'm gonna fix that one. And it's funny because my cousin hit me up and she was so upset with me, and she was like, bro, I hate when people say I talk too much. And I remember, I'm like, oh yeah, people used to always tell me and my cousin that we talk too much, like we're two little birds and we just nonstop chat. And she was like, dude, I literally hate when people say I talk too much, like, I'm sorry that I have personality. And I was like, facts, queen. And then she pretty much was just popping off. She said, people have said that to me too. They say that I talk too much, that I'm too loud. But she's like, if I don't say anything, then the conversation's dead. Like, it's not my fault that I'm the glue in the conversation. And I was like, you know what? I've noticed that too. Like, I get really, like, uncomfortable with silence. And I feel like in a group setting, like that happens a lot where it just goes quiet. So I kind of just think of like different conversations to talk about, and I like let other people talk too. So I like try to keep the conversation going. I remember in the past I used to have a problem where I would cut people off, but now I realize it's also the ADHD. So I'm very much more mindful about it. So what I do is like if I hear someone but I'm mid speaking or something, I will either stop speaking or I'll continue my sentence and go, oh, but what were you saying? You were saying, and then I'll say where they left off. Like I always try to make that a habit of like if I'm in the middle of speaking or I accidentally cut someone off and they stop speaking, I go, oh, I'm sorry, but what were you saying? So it doesn't seem like I'm overpowering the conversation with my chattiness. But yeah, I guess, yeah, apparently like more than one person has told me that I do tend to talk to myself, and like they could stop talking and I'll just keep chatting away, but I genuinely didn't notice. So I guess I'll just work on that. I don't really know how to pick up the cues to know that they're not listening, because sometimes people like will go on their phone or something and I'll like stop talking and they'll go, oh wait, I'm still listening, I'm just checking my phone, and I'm like, oh okay. So I can't tell. Some people just are checking their phones, some people are just not listening. So yeah, but yeah, my resolution is I'm not going to speak if spoken to those specific people. Like my friend who's my best friend who also works at the same restaurant as me, he cheered me up a lot too, and the one that I mentioned earlier, and he was just like, bro, I'm a yapper too, we yap together. And I was like, yeah, we are yappers, we do yap together. And that's funny because that same night I was like, oh, can I call you for like 5 minutes to tell you what happened at something else? And he was like, sure. That 5 minutes, bro, turned into 2 hours. It was like 6 a.m. and we were still chatting away, and I was like, dude, I can't keep my eyes open. He's like, me neither. But then I like left that call very happy because I was just like, damn, it's so nice talking to someone else who's chatty, because like I don't feel insecure and I don't feel like I'm over talking their ear off. So lesson learned, also surround myself with fellow chatty people, because they don't see me as talking too much, they see me as someone that they could talk to a lot. So noted. But yeah, so if you feel this way too, we in this together.